The HOA thought they could intimidate me. They sent a gang of bikers to my house to scare my wife while I was away. But what they didn't know was this. I wasn't just an ordinary homeowner, and 3 minutes later, those same bikers, who came roaring in with threats, were begging me to let them walk away. This is the story of how an HOA learned the hard way that they picked the wrong man to mess with. Daniel was a quiet man. He'd served in the military, done things he didn't often talk about, and when he retired, he just wanted peace. He bought a modest house with his wife, Claire, in a suburban neighborhood. Together, they tended their garden, enjoyed morning walks, and raised their teenage son. But peace was something the HOA, led by Karen Whitmore, couldn't allow. Karen saw Daniel's independence as a threat. He didn't bend to their petty rules. He didn't pay fines without proof, and he wasn't afraid to say no, and that's when the HOA decided to push harder. It started small. Letters about the length of their grass, notices about their son's basketball hoop being an eyesore, fines for Claire's flower bed supposedly being non-compliant. Daniel knew these were manufactured excuses. When he refused to pay, Karen escalated. One evening, Claire found their mailbox smashed. Another night, they heard loud revving outside, only to see HOA board members laughing before driving away. Claire grew uneasy. "Danny, they're trying to scare us." Daniel placed a hand on her shoulder. "They don't know who they're dealing with, but they will." One Friday night, Daniel was working late at his auto shop. Claire was home alone. At around 9 p.m., the roar of motorcycles filled the street. 6 leather-clad bikers pulled up in front of their house, engines revving, headlights glaring. Claire peeked out the window, her heart racing. The men laughed, shouting insults. One yelled, "Better tell your husband to pay his dues, sweetheart, or we'll be back." Another stomped up the porch, pounding on the door. "Come on out, lady, we just want to talk." Claire, terrified, locked every door and dialed Daniel. Her voice shook. "Danny, there are bikers outside. They're here for me." Daniel's voice on the phone was calm, too calm. "Lock the door, stay low, I'll be there in 3 minutes." He shut down his shop, jumped in his truck, and sped home. The bikers were still outside when he arrived, circling the driveway, laughing. Karen herself was standing across the street with her clipboard, watching like it was entertainment. Daniel stepped out of his truck. He didn't shout. He didn't wave his arms. He just stood there. The bikers slowed, confused. Something about the way he carried himself was different. One muttered, who is this guy?" Daniel walked slowly to his porch, standing between his wife and the men. He spoke quietly, but his voice carried. "You came to scare my wife. Big mistake." One biker sneered. "What are you going to do, old man?" Daniel tilted his head. "You don't want that answer." The man laughed, revving his engine, until Daniel stepped closer. In the glow of the headlights, the bikers saw the tattoos on his arm. Not gang tattoos, military insignia, special forces. Daniel locked eyes with the leader. 3 minutes, that's how long you have to get off my property." The biker chuckled nervously. "Or what?" Daniel leaned in, whispering something only the man could hear. The biker's face drained of color. He turned to his crew. "We're leaving now." But Karen wasn't finished. "No, don't you leave. He's bluffing. He can't touch you," she screamed from across the street. But Daniel wasn't bluffing. Because while Karen thought she was running the show, she didn't know the truth. Daniel still had contacts. He still had friends in law enforcement, the military and the local sheriff's department. And as the bikers scrambled to leave, police cruisers suddenly turned the corner, lights flashing. Daniel had called them before even arriving. The bikers were arrested on the spot for harassment, trespassing, and intimidation. Karen's jaw dropped. This isn't fair, they were just warning her. But the officers ignored her. She had orchestrated it, and Daniel had proof. In court, Daniel revealed everything: the smashed mailbox, the fines, the intimidation, and now the biker stunt. The bikers, facing jail time, confessed that Karen had paid them to scare the family. The HOA board crumbled under the evidence. Karen was stripped of her title, fined heavily, and sued for damages. As for Daniel and Claire, the court awarded them full compensation. But more than that, Daniel gained the respect of the entire neighborhood. One neighbor whispered, "I didn't know he was that kind of man." Another said, "Karen picked the wrong family this time." Karen moved away in shame, her reputation destroyed. The bikers, they avoided Daniel's street like the plague, and Daniel, he went back to his peaceful life with Claire, tending his garden, fixing cars, and enjoying quiet evenings. But now, when the motorcycles roared in the distance, it wasn't a sound of fear. It was a reminder that no matter how loud bullies shouted, they'd never be louder than truth, justice, and a man protecting his family. Because in just 3 minutes, Daniel turned their intimidation into humiliation. Pause. Music softens. So let me ask you, if someone sent bikers to your home to scare your family, what would you do? Stay silent or fight back like Daniel? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you believe bullies always get what they deserve, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories where justice always wins.